even with the use of artificial intelligence, when you're using Grok 4, ChatGPT 5, and this is basically a PhD student, professor, inside your pocket, on your desktop, laptop, iPad. And what you realize is people still are not using it. And it is such a great tool for research to get your questions answered relatively quickly. And what you're finding is people, again, still are not using it. And it's a remarkable thing because when I make a video or some other influencer or content creator, whatever you want to call them, goes out and makes a video too, what you will realize is people will comment on your video multiple times and still get the answer wrong. And so when you have Gavin Newsom breaking his own state constitution to implement redistricting through the process of a vote, yeah, that's a little bit wrong. And to attribute it and say, well, Texas is doing the exact same thing. No, Texas is allowed to redistrict virtually really anytime they want because they don't have that in their state constitution of you need to have basically a group of people to do it. So Gavin Newsom is basically tearing up the state of California's constitution to do his redistricting, but everybody wants to point the blame and say, well, that's just hypocrisy. Look what Texas is doing. Yeah, Texas isn't breaking the law, but Gavin Newsom, the Democrat Party, is. But that's typical. And here's the most mind-blowing thing of it all. We had to listen for years of how Donald Trump's a threat to democracy. Donald Trump is a threat to the Constitution, and not just him, but all of you as well. And that he's going to tear up the Constitution like Nancy Pelosi tore up his State of the Union address, and he's going to throw it right into the trash. I told you the Democrats always project because whatever they say is exactly what they are doing. And that's exactly what they are doing in the state of California. They're tearing up and throwing up a bunch of garbage and throwing their constitution right into the trash. And it's just a remarkable thing, folks. Yeah, I'm a little hyped this morning, but it's good to see you. No, we had coffee. I already took a sip. Oh, there's coffee. But anywho, it's good to see all of you. Hopefully you had a lovely weekend. We are back here, and today's another big day. Not only was, Friday a big day, Thursday or Friday. I can't even remember. The news cycle moves so fast, I can't even remember when Alaska happened. Was it Thursday? Was it Friday? Well, nonetheless, it did happen. And now we are here on Monday. Zelensky flew in last night, but Zelensky and NATO leaders are going to attend the White House peace talks today. This very well could be a done deal today, but I'm not going to hold my breath with it. So let's get into it today. Again, welcome back, folks. Trump hosts Zelensky and European leaders for peace talks. Now, after his high-stakes meeting with Vladimir Putin on Friday, President Trump is hosting Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and key European leaders at the White House today in an effort to broker a peace deal to end the war in Ukraine. While Friday's 3-hour summit between Trump and Putin did not result in a final deal, both sides expressed optimism that progress was made. The most significant development came on Sunday when White House Special Envoy Steve Witkoff announced that Putin had agreed to allow Western-backed Article 5-like security guarantees for Ukraine, a major concession. Now, here's the thing. When I hear major concession, and I really hope they're choosing their words carefully when writing this article, is because if you recall, Donald Trump said in that press conference with Putin, and he also said it also in thereafter interviews with, like, I think it was Hannity or whatever, that they couldn't get one major concession figured out. Like, there was a lot of small things that they didn't get figured out, which was to him no big deal, but it was a couple big things, he said, major things that they weren't able to get done. I wonder if that was one of them. Now, the focus now shifts on today's meeting at the White House, where Zelensky will be joined by leaders from UK, France, Germany, and others. The central issue is whether Ukraine is willing to cede territory, specifically the Donbass region, which Trump has indicated is a requirement for a peace deal. This is not a shock to anybody. Matter of fact, people have been talking about this more than myself. Now, I've just specified, oh, well, there's going to be territory given up because I didn't know. A lot of people been specifically talking about two regions this entire time, and that would be Donetsk and Luhansk. And that would not be a shock to, really, honestly, I keep saying it, but anybody, that those regions would be lost. Quote, you can't have a deal between two warring factions unless both sides agree to give up something. Correct. And both sides agree that the other side gets something. There you go, with Marco Rubio. Now, we do have a clip that has been going kind of viral, if you want to call it, or making its round, I suppose, on the media. And that's with Marco Rubio. And let me see if I actually retweeted. If not, I'll pull up the clip for you in real time. But Marco Rubio was on, I believe it was Face the Nation with Margaret Brennan. And we all know how things go with Margaret Brennan, really anytime, because she likes to push back, she likes to interrupt, and all these other things. Well, here's Marco Rubio absolutely just slapping her around this entire time. The whole, we're going to go 3-minute clip here. It's worth it. Here we go.
You know, there is concern from the Europeans that President Zelensky is going to be bullied into signing something away. That's why you have these European leaders coming as backup tomorrow.
You don't know that.
Can you?
No, it isn't. That's not why they're coming as back. That's not true. No, but that's not why that's not true. They're not coming here tomorrow to keep Zelensky from being bullied. They're not coming.
February Oval Office
they're coming
meeting
here tomorrow
in front of television cameras where President Zelensky.
Do you know how many meetings we've had since then?
Oh, no, I know. And I was just up in Alaska watching the one with Vladimir Putin where a red carpet rolled out.
No, but it was Zelensky. We've had more meetings. We've had one meeting with Putin and like a dozen meetings with Zelensky. So, but that's not true. They're not coming here tomorrow to keep Zelensky from being bullied. They're coming here tomorrow because we've been working with the Europeans. We talked to them last week. There were meetings in the UK over the previous weekend.
And they said President Trump was going to demand a ceasefire
as early as Thursday. No. But you said that they're coming here tomorrow to keep Zelensky from being bullied. They're not coming here tomorrow. Oh, this is such a stupid media narrative that they're coming here tomorrow because Trump is going to bully Zelensky into a bad deal. We've been working with these people for weeks on this stuff. They're coming here tomorrow because they chose to come here tomorrow. We invited them to come. We invited them to come. The president invited them to come.
But the president told those European leaders last week that he wanted a ceasefire. The president went on television, said he would walk out of the meeting if Vladimir Putin didn't agree with one. He said there would be severe consequences if he didn't agree to one. He said he'd walk out in 2 minutes. He spent 3 hours talking to Vladimir Putin, and he did not get one. So there's
because
some
obviously
messages.
things happened during that meeting. Well, because obviously look, our goal here is not to stage some production for the world to say, oh, how dramatic, he walked out. Our goal here is to have a peace agreement to end this war, okay? And obviously we felt, and I agreed, that there was enough progress, not a lot of progress, but enough progress made in those talks to allow us to move to the next phase. If not, we wouldn't be having Zelensky flying all the way over here. We wouldn't be having all the Europeans coming all the way over here. Now understand, and take with a grain of salt, I'm not saying we're on the verge of a peace deal, but I am saying that we saw movement, enough movement to justify a follow-up meeting with Zelensky and the Europeans, enough movement for us to dedicate even more time to this. You talk about the sanctions. Look, at the end of the day, if peace is not going to be possible here, and this is just going to continue on as a war, people will continue to die by the thousands. The president has that option to then come in and impose new sanctions. But if he did this now, the moment the president puts those additional sanctions, that's the end of the talks. You've basically locked in at least another year to year and a half of war and death and destruction. We may unfortunately wind up there, but we don't want to wind up there. We want to wind up with a peace deal that ends this war so Ukraine can go on with the rest of their lives and rebuild their country and be assured that this is never going to happen again. That's the goal here. We're going to do everything possible to make that happen if it's doable. It will require both sides to make concessions. It will require both sides to get things they're asking for. That's how these deals are made, whether we like it or not.
I mean, well done, Rubio. Extremely well done. Right there. Now, that's not the only rounds that Rubio was making on the waves this weekend. He said, I shouldn't even have to say it. Rubio slaps back at ABC's Raditz for saying Trump elevated Putin. So we have here, Raditz brought up the summit, which Trump has touted as a success, and claimed that people were saying he had actually given Putin the upper hand by allowing him to walk the red carpet and be seen on the world stage. This was echoed slightly by, I hate to say it, our Wonder Woman, Jackie Heinrich of Fox News, who we love here. But she said that Donald Trump was weak. Then the reason for it was because he allowed Putin to talk first. I thought that was a very weird and odd take by Jackie, to be fair. And as somebody that knows Jackie well and follows her reporting, it was a little bit odd of a thing for her to say, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on with that. But here's Raditz with Marco Rubio. Here we go.
Of President Trump will say the pomp and circumstance, the red carpet, the warm handshake, that President Trump simply lost that Putin gained there just by being on the world stage and walking down a red carpet with the president. Your reaction to that?
Well, I mean, critics of President Trump are always going to find something to criticize. You don't even pay attention to it anymore. But I will tell you this, Putin is already on the world stage. He's already on the world stage. The guy's conducting a full-scale war in Ukraine. He's already on the world stage. He has the world's largest tactical nuclear arsenal in the world and the second largest strategic nuclear arsenal in the world. He's already on the world stage. When I hear people say that, oh, it elevates him, well, all we do is talk about Putin all the time. All the media's done is talk about Putin all the time for the last 4 or 5 years. That doesn't mean he's right about the war. That doesn't mean he's justified about the war. Put all that aside. It means you're not going to have a peace agreement between Russia and Ukraine. You're not going to end a war between Russia and Ukraine without dealing with Putin. That's just common sense. I shouldn't even have to say it. So people can say whatever they want. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we have to get the Russian side to agree to things that they don't want to agree to if we're going to have peace. If not, there'll just be a war. They'll keep killing each other. And life will go on in America and in the rest of the world, but not for Ukraine. So the president has invested a lot of time in trying to bring an end to this war. He deserves credit for doing that. He gets criticism for doing that. He could have just let this war go on. The president could have just said, this is Biden's war. It started under him. We'll do what we can for Ukraine, but we're going to focus on other things. He could have easily said that. But he's the only leader in the world that can get Putin to a meeting to talk about serious things.
Now, it's so wild to me that this is the type of reporting that's coming out. Not the fact they have a president that even met with Putin. Remember, Joe Biden didn't even make a phone call to Putin to try to get this whole thing resolved when the war started. He didn't do anything. And so now you have a president that's not only trying to make America great again, but he's trying to solve foreign affairs that really doesn't affect us all that much. I suppose it kind of does in a way because, well, Joey just decided to throw money at the problem and doesn't actually fix it, which is a typical thing with money, right? Usually doesn't fix any problems, just kind of, if anything, usually exacerbates it in the way politics goes. Look no further than the homeless crisis, the drug crisis, the immigration crisis that we had, all those other things. But he doesn't. I don't understand why the media can't just give credit to Donald Trump for trying to solve this whole thing. I really don't. And we do, in a way, want to get some of our money back, which is why we have the minerals deal. But at the end of the day, if this doesn't work out, well, then just millions of people go ahead and perish. And so I was trying to figure out how much of Ukraine's land would they have to lose if they were to give Donbass region, which is eastern Ukraine, to the Russians. I almost said Soviets. That almost came out of my mouth. Well, Ukraine, take these numbers, they're kind of rough numbers. If Ukraine was to give up Donbass, it would therefore result in Ukraine losing about 8.8% of its territory. Now, those are some rough numbers, but about 8% of their territory would be taken by the Russians. Now, again, part of this deal or negotiation that was taking place is that this is something that needs to be implemented in a way that Russia can't keep doing this. And that's something that Donald Trump has said along with his people like Marco Rubio. The other thing that they're criticizing Donald Trump for is by allowing Vladimir Putin to take the beast. That was one big thing that was spoken of, not just during the actual event itself, but also a talking point over the weekend. Well, why would he let him get in the beast? Folks, many presidents have allowed him to get into the beast before. Vladimir Putin has taken Marine One multiple times with presidents of the United States. It is so crazy that they try to gaslight all of us consistently as if there's no video of all this stuff. I've never understood this. There's only two routes here. They are legitimately that ignorant and they're trying to gaslight us, or they think we're that stupid and we're not able to look up the stuff, which I guess is still gaslighting. And then, so we'll combine those two. And then the other one would be, maybe they're actually the stupid ones and they don't even do their own research as journalists to go see if these things have happened before. It's head spinning. It truly is head spinning. But that's what you get with the media nowadays. It's amazing how you don't even have to do your job anymore in 2025. You could just do whatever the hell you want and say whatever the hell you want. And well, that's it. Alrighty, well, we'll keep you up to date on the peace talks. Now, they're going to be happening while I'm at work. A great website would be the Daily Wire. Check out their live updates. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and give you a little peek ski at what that looks like currently. So the Daily Wire has a great live update section for all of you. They do have White House correspondents on the ground. They do have people in the building right now, so their contacts are a lot better than mine. And it says, we are back. Trump is set to meet Volodymyr Zelensky and other European leaders at the White House Monday. I don't have a time. There might be a time here. Let me see. I don't see one. The funny thing is that a lot of people are wondering if J.D. Vance was going to be in the room. J.D. Vance, darn right, he's going to be back in there. Now, obviously, they're not going to make the negotiations right there in the Oval Office with the cameras. But I would imagine, and the hope would be that this would be a big announcement that, hey, we got a deal done. But I'm not holding my breath with Zelensky. Zelensky said multiple times, I'm not willing to give up any territory. But I don't think there's any option that this will end without giving up territory unless NATO wants to come in, UK, European Union, Germany, all these people, and want to push back on it. So, leaked memo shows Meta allowed romantic chatbots for kids. This is not surprising. We're moving on. If you can't tell, that was a really rough transition, but it's morning. A leaked internal memo has revealed that Meta knowingly allowed its artificial intelligence chatbots to engage in sensual and romantic conversations with children, sparking bipartisan outrage and calls for congressional investigation. Now, this is not the only time this has happened, by the way. Not with Meta. That's not what I'm talking about. It's happened with Snapchat before and these other AI bots early on, where even Snapchat, which is what a lot of the youth is using nowadays, by the way, they don't text or Instagram really anymore. They use virtually Snapchat for everything. And so what happens is that there's a chatbot on Snapchat that is just an AI individual, and it will have a full conversation with you. It will engage with you. And it was telling these kids to basically do harmful things to themselves. And so Snapchat actually had to not only update it, but then they had to put out a warning, I believe is what they did, regarding, hey, you need to be careful. This is, supposed to be used this way, blah, blah, blah. But this is where we're going. And it's not just children that are going to struggle with this. This is also going to be adults struggling with having AI girlfriends, boyfriends, husbands, and all these other things. It will listen to your problems. You're going to have the point where you're going to have robots in the household that are going to do all your chores for you. It's going to sound really bad. I don't mean it to, but a lot of men still love kind of that old school woman that cooks and cleans. Well, what do you do when you don't have to hear the nagging anymore, but now you can have a robot do it for you? And well, you're going on your merry way. So this is a massive issue, a societal problem, by the way, a societal problem for both men and women, as well as our birthing rates. I don't know if you heard, allegedly, I haven't looked this up, but China is building or has built a robot that's able to carry a child to term. So we'll go ahead and flesh that out to see if that's actually real. It wouldn't surprise me because we're already able to do something similar with animals where they're just basically in a bag. So anywho, let's move on with this though. The memo obtained by Reuters outlined Meta's internal standards for chatbot behavior on platforms like Facebook and Instagram. It revealed that while explicit dialogue was forbidden, romantic sounding conversations were permitted. Examples of acceptable language, including a bot telling a child, your youthful form is a work of art, or telling shirtless 8-year-old, every inch of you is a masterpiece. The investigation found that Meta's legal, public policy, and engineering staff all signed off on the policies. Well, remember, you're going to get to the point where AI will be able to create AI. I mean, we will get to the point where you can make your own chatbot utilizing, I would imagine you could do it already with ChatGPT or Grok 4. So, you're going to have, like we see all the time on the internet, right? You see how you have to pay for Grok 4 or you got to pay for ChatGPT 5. At some point, all this stuff is open source. At some point, you're just going to get these people that are going to create it for free where you don't have to pay for anything. And it just does everything that these other companies are doing. It will get to that point where people are just creating everything in their household. So you're going to have these dark web AI, and I'm sure it already exists, AI centers where you can just create your own and basically create whatever the hell you want. Well, there you go. I have my wife now. I'm gonna take that AI bot that I made, that perfect wife, and then I'm gonna put that perfect wife or husband inside this Tesla robot, and bada bing, bada boom, the thing's having conversations with you on all sorts of stuff. Well, Meta has confirmed the memo's authenticity, the claim that interactions were never supposed to be allowed. Well, they did. So we'll see what goes on with that. It's just another thing to have to worry about now as a parent is your kid getting attached to an AI bot. And well, maybe your kid should touch grass. Another reason why your kid shouldn't have social media or a cell phone, to be honest. But you know, what do I know? I just see kids every single day of my life. And it's sad, man. It's like I said this, guys, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and for the last 4 years, it's messed up. Remember, parents only see their kids from, depending if it's practice. I mean, how much time do parents really spend with their kids nowadays? Not all that much. They might be around them, but in terms of parenting, not really. I mean, your kid leaves the house at what, like 7 a.m, and then let's just say best case scenario walks in that door around 3:30, 4 o'clock. They're in bed hopefully by 9 or 10. You maybe see them for the top notch 6 hours. Yeah, I don't know. The internet's raising your kids. You're not raising your kids, which is a scary thought to think about. Republican states send troops to support DC crackdown. A lot of people in DC, we covered this last week, are liking this. And people, I've watched more footage, are blown away that they are walking around DC. It's clean. It's quiet. There's no crime. This is exactly how things are supposed to be. And by the way, were when I grew up, I was able to just leave the house. I don't say virtually any time I wanted, but it was like I can leave at 7 a.m. and I can come back I always said this, when the street lights turned on. Like no conversation with my parents throughout the entire day whatsoever, right? There was no cell phones. There was a pay phone, but Lord knows we didn't have any change in our pockets. It's you left. Well, how'd you get water? I drank from somebody's hose out on their front lawn. I know. Novel. And it's inventive. I know. Yes, we drank out of each other's hoses because their parents wouldn't let us in their house. So where'd you get food? We didn't eat. Maybe when we went to one of our friends' houses, their mom was cool and was like, hey, I'll make you guys some sandwiches or something like that. Other than that, yeah, defend for yourself, man. Touch grass, eat grass. Yeah, different times. My mom sure in hell wasn't allowing anybody coming in and being fed. My mom didn't even know that I came outside to use the hose. 3 Republican-led states are sending National Guard troops to Washington, D.C. to support President Trump's federal crime crackdown, which has already resulted in hundreds of arrests and clearing dozens of homeless encampments. Oh boy, I mean, they were dragging this stuff. Let me see if I can get some footage for you guys really quick. Where they're just dragging it, throwing it right there into the garbage can. This is a little bit of the cleanup. Well, this was back in August, but this is what DC allegedly looked like. This is crazy, yo. Look at this. I mean, this is a sidewalk. It's like, this is, by the way, if you've ever been to DC, it actually I personally think the architecture, even the sidewalk, I think it's gorgeous. This sidewalk doesn't have it, but they'll have like still the bricks being laid down there in DC. So Washington, D.C. homeless. Let's see if we can get some of the latest on that for all of you with them cleaning it up. But it's sad what's happened to our cities. And one of the questions I asked, here you go. One of the questions I asked was, hey, do people in Chicago and LA want to see this happen? Everybody was saying yes. Now, not everybody that watches my videos are Republican or conservative. But this is what people want. Getting this stuff off. Look, they're choosing to be out here, you guys. They're choosing to be out there. They have places to go. They really do. A lot of places.
A lot of other tents that are here. Lots of them. This is just a very small number of them that are being taken down, but they're being taken down little by little.
I was here this summer,
And here is actually another one right in front of me. It's the chair right here over.
So I'll mute it because there's all the audio. I don't know who decided to make all the audios play at the same time for editing this video together, but I appreciate them letting us use the video. I would like to point out a decade ago when I was in DC, I'm not saying I didn't see a tent, but I can't actually recall seeing a physical tent anywhere. Remember I said, oh, I saw homeless people? The only place I saw them consistently and all the time was actually in that DuPont Circle. And they didn't have tents. They would, like I said, they would always go down in that Panera Bread down in the basement and sleep. And Panera Bread never really even kicked them out, which was kind of odd because I'm sitting there trying to like eat a meal. And I'd see this homeless guy across the way from me just sleeping on a bench inside the Panera Bread. It's kind of dark, you know, like I said, it was a 3-story building, but the basement part of it was something really odd, really, really odd. So it is, a lot of people want to see this type of National Guard in Chicago. I couldn't believe it. I looked up Chicago's homicides. It was like almost 600. It was like 550 or something like that just in Chicago alone. I think in the broader state, it was like almost 600. It's crazy. That's just homicides. It's nuts. So in response to call for more manpower from President Trump, I mean, he's calling him more manpower, dude. That tells you how bad DC is. West Virginia, South Carolina, and Ohio have pledged to send a combined total of 650 National Guard troops to the Capitol. The troop will join the 800 members of DC National Guard already activated. This just shows you how little police DC needed in order to get control of it. When you have the President of the United States calling in backup because it's that bad, Democrats love crime. Have I not said it? All of you have been with me for years. How many times have I told you on camera, into the mic, Democrats salivate off of this stuff? It's I don't know if the word is euphoric or like neurotic for them. They love crime and they will do everything they can to allow more crime to flourish. The most prominent way would be for them to defund the police and get rid of laws that would stop this stuff from happening in the first place. Oh, they love it, man. They'll live with it too. That's what you guys don't realize. They're living with it. They do it in Los Angeles. They do it in Chicago. They do it in Portland. They do it in Seattle. They do it in New York City. They love this stuff and it's bonkers, man. So now you have the president going, hey, we need backup down here. This is bad. That's never a good sign. And it just shows you how DC has fallen under Democrat rule. But, well, none of us are surprised, are we? No, we're not. All righty. We got more news to cover. But before we do that, we might as well sponsor ourselves today. And that sponsorship is coming from Bald Brad's store. That's coming from baldbrad.com. We have merchandise. We have mugs. We got t-shirts that have been designed all by yours truly. And we also have women's sportswear. Now, this is all black just so you can see it, but we do offer different colors. But our main type of color is black and white here. That's how we roll. And, well, you can go ahead and get yourself a t-shirt and a mug off the website. And we also have, if you didn't know, we also have a book, Trojan Horse, How the Left is Destroying America. If you go to my website, baldbrad.com, you can pick up yourself a copy. You just click this link. It will take you to Amazon. And bada bing, bada boom, you just click it. Brad, get bigger mugs. Look, if they offer it, I'll get them. But we'll see. We'll try, my friend. We'll try. I just want to create stuff that you guys will like and wear. It's not, by the way, none of this stuff's about me making a huge profit off of, by the way. It's just so you guys can have it. So some of you might look at the pricing and go, well, that's a little outrageous, man. $25 for a shirt. It's good quality. I've had the same shirt for I don't even know how long now. It's this one right here. It's good quality and $30 ain't bad, especially getting it for something very specific, like a customized thing. So the mug is a little bit pricey, but there's nothing I can really do about that. That's just how much they charge for the logo and all that other stuff. So we're not breaking the bank here, and you're supporting a fellow content creator and whatever you want to call me. You know, some of you are like, well, you're a dipshit, Brad. Oh, okay. We got Lumen Sweet, yeah, coffee super mugs, love it. Education license, woke test. Yeah. It's good to see all of you in the chat. We also have Patriots have a great day. Appreciate that, Cece. You have a great day as well. We're not going anywhere, though. We're sticking around. So hopefully you're enjoying what you're seeing. If you are, hit that subscribe button. It's free. And also hit that like button. That's also free. Any help would be greatly appreciated. So let's go to try to get some breaking news of what's also happening here. There is still, finally, people are waking up to this news. So let's give you an update regarding the Minnesota Vikings cheerleader. So they have 2 male cheerleaders now. And there is from what I'm hearing, a lot of backlash. Because it turns out that a male-dominated sport that is there with a bunch of males, and these aren't like these progressive men, that do this. I'd be shocked if this guy is an actual Republican or conservative. I mean, this is somebody's son. That's the sad thing. This is somebody's son dancing like this. Now, if you want to, that's all you. But there is this idea of men. Always has been. For all out human history. So when men don't want to see other men dance sexually, we're now the bad guys. Not the people that are throwing it in our faces, but we're the bad guys. I've never understood that. We're not the one that even initiated it. They did. So you're throwing these men onto this field in front of other men. I'm not talking like soy boy. I'm not talking like fairy men. I'm talking like grizzly men, dude, that would kick my ass watching the game. That's not what they want to see. That, by the way, that's not what they're paying tickets for. And granted, they're paying tickets to watch football. I would say get away with cheerleading altogether. I've said this even for hockey. I'm not there to watch all this other stuff. I'm there to watch men destroy other men in the sport of whatever I'm watching. I want to see fights. I want to see hard hits, man. I want to see amazing athleticism. I want to see all of it. If I don't need to see a woman in a skirt. Is it nice? Absolutely it is. But did I pay tickets for it? No. I didn't go there to see the Dallas Cowboy cheerleading team. I didn't go to an NHL game to see women in skirts sweep up the ice. Is it nice to have something to look at between intermission? Sure. Didn't pay tickets for it. Well, the Minnesota Vikings have made headlines. Have I always told you I keep you, 2 weeks minimum ahead of the news cycle? Did we not cover this like 2 weeks ago? Well, here it is. It's now breaking, by the way. This is where people are now blowing up over the weekend. And I told you beforehand, the Minnesota Vikings have made headlines. Well, we covered the headline a few weeks ago, where the 2 individuals, the males, are part of the cheerleading team. Stirring a significant debate over gender roles in sports, critics have voiced concerns that this move challenges traditional male roles. Correct. Suggesting it feminizes them. It does feminize. It's not like men don't dance like this, dude. They don't. And when they do, they tend to be gay. Fine, let's go. I know it's anecdotal. Let's go to the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if any of your buddies has ever danced like this, just casually. Because sometimes you make bets, right? Oh, dance like a, femboy or whatever they're called. Just casually. Or you yourself as a male have gone, oh yeah, I've danced like this. This is a normal thing for guys to dance like. Let's just play it while we're doing it. And then a 2 in a chat if you're like, no, I've never seen that. I've never seen that. Now, just because you've never seen it doesn't mean it's not common. Let me know. I have personally never seen a male dance like this. Like casually going. I used to go clubbing all the time. I started clubbing at 18, technically 17. Let's sneak in. You just go down there, Hollywood Boulevard. They had a place, I think it was called Level 3, where they had allowed 18-year-olds to go in. It's tough back then it was tough to find a club that allowed 18-year-olds. A lot of them were 21 and older. I used to go clubbing all the time. I know, look at me like, really, Brad? You used to go clubbing? I did, yes. A lot of my older pictures are of me with all my friends. I used to have a lot of friends that were girls. Yeah, I know, novel. You don't have to actually hit on a girl to be friends with them. You're just friends with them. Probably because a lot of my, I grew up with 2 sisters. But anyway, so that's going on. So a lot of people are commenting on the video. I don't really see what the problem is. It's just the male cheerleaders. It's like, that's because you're an idiot. Yeah, you probably don't see a lot of things because no one wants to see that. Correct. The outfit, no one gives a damn about male cheerleaders. They've been a thing forever. They're even necessary at times. Doesn't mean that they see this guy, Rob. It just, there's certain things that go over people's heads. And this is something I've talked about time and time again. There's a lot of variables that go into a conversation. A variable is things that vary, things that change, meaning that one variable would be the male cheerleaders that are wearing usually the long sleeves and long white pants, right? That throw the women up in the air, and that's all they do. Yeah, they'll go like this and then they'll bounce out, right? They'll go backwards. They're not dancing like a sexualized stripper on the field. They've never done that from my understanding. Maybe I'm wrong. Usually they throw you up and they leave. Hence the necessary at times. But then the other variable is dancing like a stripper or a sexualized manner that women dance like. No, that's not a thing. And men don't want to see that, but this is what they do, right? They obfuscate the actual what people are talking about. Well, what's the big deal? And you go, oh, if fans of blah, blah, have this happen. Yeah, but this is funny because it's supposed to be a security guard. Yeah, see, this is supposed to be... Sorry, I'm getting frustrated because it's so... You have to explain everything to everybody all the time. Not you guys always, but you understand what I mean. I'm going to play this and I'm going to talk while it's doing this. There's a fake security guard standing on the field and he gets in the way. And she's like, oh my God, like, can you believe, get this guy off the field? He's in my way. And so he starts moving back and then he starts partaking in the dance. Why? Because one, it's not normal for a security guard to be dancing with the cheerleaders. Okay. The second part is that it's not normal for a guy to be dancing like this with cheerleaders, which is why everybody's paying attention because it's funny. It's not a common occurrence where you're having a man dancing like a woman. It's supposed to get you going. Like, oh, this is funny. This is hilarious. Look at a guy with a mustache and he has a beer belly. Look at, yeah, it's a fun thing. Like, oh, a guy's actually doing it. It's hilarious. It's not a normal thing because if it was normal, this wouldn't work. If it was normal to see a security guard that's a male dance, it wouldn't be normal. To see a male do it, it would be normal. So nobody would want to get involved in it. I feel like I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here. I think we all get it. Unbelievable, man. It's just, I don't understand why people play. A lot of people play stupid, right? Because when they have to face the fact of what everybody's talking about, then they have to face the fact of what everybody's talking about. And then it's like, oh, wait, yeah, you're right. Like, why can't you just be upfront about it and go, yeah, that is not a cultural normal thing. Yeah, maybe there isn't a place for it. And maybe there is. Maybe we're all wrong. And I'm happy to be wrong. Nothing happens when you're wrong. You just correct yourself. So if you're wrong, meaning they actually did the studies, all these football teams, the NFL did these studies and go, there's actually a huge demand for this. Yeah, our sales are actually going through the roof because of this specific thing. We're making money hand over fist. Like, we don't know what to do. Just as pouring in. Then I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna shut my mouth then. Yeah. Oh, well, that makes sense why you're doing it. I'm sorry. Yeah, let me go ahead and just put out a public service announcement. Hey guys, I was wrong. They actually did a study. They're killing it right now. They're fucking making so much money they don't even know what to do with themselves. Yeah, I don't think that's happening though. I really don't. Matter of fact, I think a lot of people are gonna be like, I don't know. I mean, it's not a great look when your football team, your NFL team is known now as, well, what everybody was writing to me in the comments was, well, yeah, it's the Minnesota Vikings. What do you expect? Bro, if you're a dude and somebody's saying that about your team, that is rough. Like, I'm an LA Kings fan. If I had a bunch of male cheerleaders prancing around on the ice and all this other stuff, dancing like that, and everyone goes, well, dude, it's the LA Kings, man. Like, you guys are known to be kind of, feminist, like feminine. I'll be dead serious. I've been a Kings fan my entire life. I don't know. I'd probably still be a fan, but I probably wouldn't go to any more games or even watch them on TV or anything. I probably wouldn't even tell anybody because I don't want to be known for that. Like, oh, I don't want to be known that I'm in favor of the team that has guys prancing around everywhere. I don't know. Like, they're good dancers. I'll give them that. They're good dancers, good at what they do. I'm just saying, man, there's a time and place for it, and it probably ain't it. All right, we got more updates here with, what's this, Joy? Was it Joy Reid? If you're enjoying what you're seeing, hit that like button. I greatly appreciate you guys. Ousted MSN DNC host says Trump is the physical embodiment of all America's sins. This lady, I mean, remember when we did that whole Piers Morgan thing and she got just destroyed by Piers for like an hour straight? It felt like. Well, this lady, that's the race baiter, the race hustler, the lives in an alternate reality. Well, she's back here saying that Trump, again, is the physical embodiment of all American sins. Please tell me we have a clip. Oh, you know, the Lord has blessed us with content from this lady. And she has an FDT shirt on because they can't come up with their own stuff. They're almost like the Chinese. They just have to steal everybody's ideas. So because we have F Joe Biden, she has F Donald Trump on her hat. Wow, just what a hero. She can't fathom still why she lost her job because of it.
Donald Trump, in some ways, people try to say God put him in the White House. I don't believe God is that cruel. But in a way, I'm thinking the way you could justify saying that, Donald Trump is the physical embodiment of all of America's sins. He's
I agree
sloppy,
completely.
right? He's sloppy. He's unkempt. Everything about him is false. His hair is a pretense of non-baldness. He's old, but his followers try to pretend that he looks like Superman. He's a terrible businessman and a failure who gets to fake success because he's white, so banks keep lending him money even when he's failing. His father scoops money out of his siblings' inheritance to give him when he fails. He's a fuck up, but he's able to be a success because white America keeps saying, no, that guy is what success looks like. He's only a success on that TV show because when he was at his brokest, he gets hired to be on The Apprentice. His boardroom couldn't even be used on The Apprentice, and I found this out in my first my Trump book because it was so shoddy and unkempt. I went in Trump Tower in the 80s. It was tacky and sad. His marriage is a fraud. Melania clearly won't even touch him. The last time she let him touch her, they had Barron. Clear that he ain't touching her now. He doesn't believe in marriage. He doesn't have morality. He got 3 baby mamas, 5 children. Everything about him is a lie. He's not a Christian, but Christians love him. But he embodies the greed, the shamelessness, the lasciviousness of capitalism.
Do you think this person has Trump derangement syndrome, man? It goes on for another minute. I'm not going to play it because she's just hounding Trump. This is a person that has some serious mental issues, man. Look, it's almost like, where do you start? Almost everything she said is just almost not true. I say almost because there's probably some things in there that are like half truths, but this is a person that's clearly not well. And I can't think maybe Jesus, where people have this type of reaction towards him. Do you know what I mean? Where it's just like they keep like hating and hating. It's just like, bro, you got some freaking issues, man. Some mega issues. Let's go to comments, dude. It's crazy. She's the physical embodiment of America's talentless racists. Well, there's definitely some truth to that. Can't watch her. Joy Reid is unapologetic racist. What a pathetic piece of garbage. Yeah, I mean, isn't it amazing that it's like, oh, because he's white, well, he's white. It's like, if you just replace that, then we would be called racist. By the way, just because you say somebody got their position because of their race, I don't actually think that's racist, by the way, based on the definition of racist or racism. I think we've so diluted the what it means to be a racist that if you say anything negative about a person of race, notice I said that for a phrase very carefully, a person of race, that you're deemed racist. Let me give you an example. Joy Reid is an idiot. Now, people say that, oh, you're saying that about a black woman, so you're racist. It's like, no, I'm saying that about her. I don't care that she's black. She's still an idiot. If she was a white person, saying this. You're an idiot. If you're an Asian, I don't care what you are. But it's always the Democrats that just thrive off of race. So Joy Reid trying to make herself relevant. I mean, I guess that's the only way of doing it with her, is that you have to call out Donald Trump. But it's weird that she talks about him, but here's Hunter. So it's weird that I've never heard her talk about Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, James Biden, Jill Biden, all these. I've never heard anything. The Clintons. It's really odd. It's just Trump's a terrible guy. That's a person that's very, very unwell. Here you have Donald Trump coming out with a tweet 31 seconds ago, allegedly. I'm totally convinced that if Russia raised their hands and said, we give up, we concede, we surrender, we will give Ukraine and the great United States of America, the most revered, respected, and powerful of all countries ever, Moscow and St. Petersburg, and everything surrounding them for 1,000 miles, the fake news media and their Democrat partners would say that this was a bad and humiliating day for Donald Trump, one of the worst days in the history of our country. But that's why they are fake news and the badly failing radical left Democrats. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I mean, this guy single-handedly not only destroyed Hillary Clinton, clearly destroyed Joy Reid. I mean, when I say destroyed, please understand, I'm not talking about like physically destroying them. It seems like it's going that route because these people are unwell. But this guy has single-handedly mentally screwed up the Democrat Party to the point where they're the lowest poll ratings ever. They don't know what to do. Donald Trump single-handedly destroyed an entire party and an entire industry called the mainstream media. The guy's a remarkable being, dude. I'm not saying that we should be worshiping him. You guys know that. That's silly. But it's a remarkable thing to watch in our lifetimes. A one man taking down so many things. It's like, damn, dude. Truly a remarkable specimen. You know, when you talk like that, there's the left just start freaking out. Oh my God, look at you worshiping him. You're in a cult. That's your cult leader. He's a fascist. They can't help themselves. He's a dictator. Yeah, okay. Oh God. So good. It's so good. She probably got in Harvard because she's a minority. Yeah, maybe. I mean, affirmative action. I've always said, if you were to build the case for systemic racism, affirmative action would be the best case to say. Now, I don't think systemic racism exists, or if it does, it's not a major problem in the United States. Just in the same way, racism still exists. Like, there's racists out there, but I don't think it's a major issue in 2025. Matter of fact, I think it's one of the least issues for the United States. It's a bigger problem in other countries, that's for sure. But because people don't travel outside very much, they don't see it. And I don't think you have to travel to another country to know that most countries are extremely racist. I don't think you have to go there to know that. But, well, here we are. So you got to keep fabricating. I mean, by the way, you know it's not a big issue in the United States because there's people that have to literally come up with race hoaxes to make it a relevant issue. It really is. You try to wrap your mind around it, but you really can't. Let's see if we got some other news here for all of you. I want to see if we got some updates here. Trump offers Ukraine Article 5 like protection. So let's break this down because this is something that we saw previously in today's news. Here we go. It's a little bit tiny on the screen. Let's go ahead and zoom in for all of you. So if you want to read ahead while I talk, you can. Zelensky heads into the high-stakes White House meeting with President Trump. Zelensky will be flanked by key European allies. We know that already. Over the weekend, Ukraine leader acknowledged his last White House visit cut short by shouting match between Trump and J.D. Vance, which isn't going to work out so well. He hopes Monday meeting will be productive. Well, he has to know that going in that he's going to be giving up territory, right? The upcoming meeting comes on the heels of Trump's visit to summit, blah, blah, blah. We know that. Here we go. Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff told CNN that Putin agreed to allow the U.S. to provide Ukraine robust security guarantees. Now, let's see what this is about, because the security guarantees were Article 5. Quote, we got to an agreement that the United States and other European nations could effectively offer Article 5-like language to cover a security guarantee in reference to critical NATO provision. Witkoff said, referencing the military alliance mutual defense clause known as Article 5. So NATO's Article 5, the cornerstone of the alliance, stipulates that an attack on one member is an assault on all, obligating allies to come to each other's defense. The proposed security guarantees for Ukraine would not come through NATO, but rather through select European allies in the event of a Russia-Ukraine peace deal. So it's almost as if, it seems like, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but it almost seems like, obviously Putin said, I don't want them to ever be a part of NATO. The reason why Ukraine wants to be part of NATO is that kind of idea. Well, if you attack one of us, you're attacking all of us, and now you start a world war, basically. Now it seems like, well, look, we're not going to allow you to be a part of NATO, but Europe, which is key, Europe, select nations will give you that security guarantee as if you are part of NATO, but not everybody's going to kind of come in hot to your rescue, if that makes sense. Now, the problem with that is UK is kind of like our brother, right? Whether we like him or not, UK is like our brother, where it's like, if the boys are going in, we're going in too. Zelensky welcomed the revelation during a Sunday press conference alongside European Commission. That's a huge deal. I know the guy doesn't impossibly give up territory or trade land. I know he doesn't want to, but look, I don't know what all the guarantees are here, but it almost would make Zelensky look bad if he's like, yeah, we're not going to have peace. Because it gives that optics as if he's the one that continually wants this thing drug out. And that's what I've heard from a lot of people, by the way, on social media. Again, that's my job, is to read different social media and post things and see what people say, the town square, and just kind of aggregate it all for you guys. That's what I keep hearing. I don't really see too many people blaming Putin for dragging out the war, which is kind of an odd thing. I think he is dragging out the war, but Zelensky is also dragging out the war. Now, he's the one that's invaded, but the problem is Russia has, the Russian military. Ukraine has the military, air quotes. I don't know. It's a military, but it's they don't got much. So I think it's going to result in them losing the territory, which is these two regions right here, Donetsk and Luhansk. I could be wrong, but it's not bad, right? If you give up 8% and you I don't know. I'm surprised. I'm surprised if this. I'm shocked that this is true. And for those on audio, I'm shocked that Article 5 guarantee. I'm shocked if that's actually true. I guess Putin really wants those two regions. As to why, I don't know. There must be something there for him, that maybe there's some UFO technology. I don't know. By the way, our lighting looks freaking phenomenal in my room today, does it not? And by my room, I mean my closet. Look at this. Hold on a second. Look how good everything looks. What'd you do different, Brad? Absolutely nothing. This is why I don't understand technology. We're looking crisp, right? Look at that. All right. Well, with that being said, we're going to end it there today. A little bit, I suppose, early, but it's the first day of technically the students coming back today, which is very exciting. We'll be back tomorrow morning, maybe later today. We will see. We actually might be back later today. When there's big news like this, we might be back later today. I always say check Twitter. I don't always post it, but that's why you want to make sure you have the bell icon on YouTube and Rumble. If you have the bell icon, make sure you set it to all so that you're notified when I go live. That way you're never wondering. It'll just pop up on your phone like, hey, Brad's live. If you want to jump in, hop on in and come hang out. We would always love your I'm reading this. We'd always love you coming and hanging out. That's what it's all about. Our community is what makes this thing great. So with that being said, pray for this country. Pray for the meeting today. Oh, Karen, thank you so much. $5. Thank you, Karen. I think our moderators are some of the biggest donors, which is funny because they moderate. They offer volunteer their time. Thank you. Have a great start to your school year with your students. They are lucky to have you as a teacher. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's very nice of you to say. Thank you. I hope it's a great day. Always pray for me too. I need prayer, guys. Power of prayer is effective. I can use all the prayer. I will never deny a prayer, man. I can use all the prayer in the world. I really can. And as could all of you. So I think it's important to pray for one another. And with that being said, have a lovely day. Might be back here today. For sure, we're back here tomorrow morning. And with that being said, adios, Patriots.